This is the Horsepower Hour.
Yes, hello and welcome once again to the Horsepower Hour. As always, your host, Andy. Joining me in the second chair is not Coy Forticus and Masterson. It is the Bald Mayhem, Greg Kendall. How you doing, man?
Doing all right.
Thanks for joining me, buddy.
How you doing?
It was kind of last minute. I appreciate you stepping in.
Yeah, no problem.
Is it weird that you have a friend that treats this like a real thing?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I just always wonder what my friends react to. Like, I mean, some of my friends are like, hey, when am I going to be on your stupid little podcast? And it's like, that ended about 5,000 subscribers ago, but thanks.
I don't know.
We are rocking and rolling here on the show, and we are having a good time doing it. And we want to thank you guys out there for making it happen. We want to thank you for tuning in. We want to thank you for telling a friend about it. Greg, have you seen this month's shirt release yet?
I have.
What do you think about it?
I like it.
Yeah. Little AE86 action.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
A little drifting.
Went through a couple of iterations. First it said,
hopefully.
well, yeah, first it said soy boy.
Oh.
And then it said tofu slut.
Ooh.
But we went with kicking it old school because that seemed to be the winner. And we're happy with the shirt. It looks very good. You can find that over on our Teespring store. It's teespring.com/stores/the Horsepower Hour. Please do go and check that out. Every little bit counts and helps, and we appreciate that. And you guys, we're talking ugly cars today.
There's a lot of them.
You and I were just having this conversation. So an ugly car, can it be made better looking with power? And of course, you say no. But then I revised that, Greg, and I said, could it at least be more interesting?
It could be more interesting. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Better looking depends. If you have a really close-up shot on it and it's zipping by the camera and it's just a big blur.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely looks better.
Yeah.
Than a still shot of it. Yeah.
There's certain cars, though, that really seem like they've kind of gotten into the classic mode, even though they were considered ugly. Like the Fox Body Mustangs were considered ugly for their time. And they're not a good looking car necessarily, but
not necessarily. No, but they're just kind of like, it's a car.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's nothing great about them other than power and being lightweight.
Sure. But there's a nostalgia there.
Yeah.
The power, 150 horse from your V8, well, probably not.
The 80s model. Okay. the 90s, those were a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because I actually figured, we can still make power, but keep the emissions down.
Yeah, it took it from 150 to 200. That's not quite the bump that we're looking for. You know what I mean?
So I've got the 84.5 model, and it has the lowest horsepower of that whole year because it was the throttle body injection, the 2-port.
Mm-hmm.
It was rated at 165.
Wow, a whole 165 horsepower.
Yeah.
Dang.
Restricted exhaust, throttle body injection. Of course, put some actual exhaust on it, some headers, and 4-barrel carburetor. Yeah, you may be looking at 200-ish.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, a whopping 200.
Yeah,
okay.
That's not bad for that year of Mustang.
Yeah, but it's bad for a 5-liter V8.
Yeah.
We got our first hater in the comments. I disagree. I like nasty looking cars that are just rippers. So yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. When I'm looking at a super ugly car, but it has something going on, so I'm going to use this example that we were talking about just before we came on, the Dodge Nitro.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly ugly, right?
Oh, yeah.
Beyond.
Yeah.
There is something.
They tried to one up the PT Cruiser.
Ooh.
That's pretty hard.
No, it's not even a lateral move. That literally is a game of losses.
Yeah.
However, if the Dodge Nitro had gotten the SRT4 engine and all-wheel drive, or heaven forbid, rear-wheel drive.
Yeah.
That would have been at least interesting. Like you would have looked at it and you would have gone, oh, those are so ugly, but shit, they're fast.
Right. A little bit more interesting. Yeah.
Some of the 60s Studebakers were probably that way, huh?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, because you're thinking about oh, I always forget what they're called, the Black Hawk or the Street Hawk or whatever it was that they called it.
They're weird names.
Yeah, they had a supercharged V8 version. It was an ugly car, but it would run 12s in the 60s. I mean, that was a fast car, especially for the time.
Just ugly.
Bingo. Yes, exactly. All right. So first up, the Porsche Taycan. I'm going to go ahead and get an image up here. When we first started talking about this, you were talking about the Panamera.
Yes.
And then we kind of went off on the Panamera. So tell me your thoughts about the Porsche Panamera.
The Panamera, it's not. I kind of feel like it's not really a Porsche because you look at a Porsche 911, Porsche 911, or the Carrera and all that on all those 2-door, and then you look at this. It's just, hey, let's just stretch it out and put another door in there.
Yeah. Well, don't forget, we kind of had to smash it with our foot a little bit because it wasn't really working.
Yeah.
So we smushed it down flat, kind of pancaked it.
But I mean, it looks less like a bug.
Well, that's true. And so that brings us, of course, to the Porsche Taycan. We have it up on the screen for anyone that's listening to the audio version of the podcast. You, of course, can go underneath of this episode. In the description, we have a full list of our links, and you can just click the top link as we're talking about them. You can just kind of go through them. Facebook user, I don't know why it's just showing Facebook users. Sorry, folks. How hilarious would it be to see a 2005 Beetle with a red twin turbo 1,000 horsepower ripping down the streets of Texas on TX2K?
So it's kind of funny that you mentioned that. Just before the show, I was talking, because I kind of have this rule when it comes to engine swaps in cars. I can't be mad when you throw an LS. I'm not a huge fan of LS swaps, but
sure.
Say for instance, the one that really irks me is an LS in a Mustang.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that if it's thrown out 1,000 horsepower. I'm okay with that. Same thing in that case. I'm okay with it if you're throwing down 1,000 horsepower.
Gotcha.
It's kind of like who cares? Rules are out the window.
Sure.
You're throwing down 1,000 horsepower. I don't care.
Sure. I would honestly like to see one of the new Beetles on like a side-by-side.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And big power. I mean, I'd love to see a 300 horsepower, Razor with just that stupid looking bug body on it. Oh yeah, ripping down the street. So anyways, getting back to the Porsche Taycan. So this thing, it reminds me of a Panamera. It reminds me of the latest Porsche. It does have 4 doors, and I'm sorry, you guys, but it just is ugly. It
For all the ladies.
It looks like somebody at Porsche stepped on it when they finished the design, like the clay block. They couldn't fit it through the door, and they were like, man, screw it. And they just started taking hammers and bats to the top.
Squash the bug.
Yes. Yeah. It looks squashed down. Now, here's the catch. The Taycan can do 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds. That is, of course, the 750 horsepower Turbo S model, but 2.4 seconds, I don't know how to accurately describe how fast that it is. Very extraordinarily
Yeah, that's
quick.
pretty cool. That's pretty fast.
Yeah.
Hold on tight.
Yeah. If there was a fluid coming out of your body when it launched, it went back in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Then you got to slam on the brakes. Out it comes.
This might actually be the perfect Uber then, because just before somebody can puke, you just smash the gas.
Yeah. Goes right back in.
Yeah.
No puke on your carpets. Maybe they'll leave a better tip because they didn't have to clean it up.
That's right.
Because if I was Uber and they puked, I'd be like, no, you're picking that shit up.
Yeah. You're cleaning it up and you're getting out of here.
Doesn't Uber I think Uber kind of gives you money or something if they vomit or something. I don't know.
I think they do. And
they
then,
find the rider or something. I don't know exactly what they do.
And there's
a
customer
they compensate you for that.
Right. And there's a customer review portion as well. So,
Yeah,
you can get
that too.
blacklisted.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this Porsche Taycan, there's a couple of interesting things that I think about this. So the base model, they're actually coming in at under $100,000. The base model starts at, I want to say it's 84,000. and the 0 to 60 time is in the 5-second range. So not super quick. The range isn't all that great. You know, it's a couple hundred miles. It is what it is. So, I mean, it seems like a much more expensive option to the Tesla Model S until you start getting into some of the more specifics. So Porsche has chosen to use an 800 volt system, whereas Tesla uses a 400 volt system.
Right.
And the result has been that you can do dig pulls and laps in the Porsche Taycan with no performance drop. Obviously, your battery doesn't last as long.
Right.
But Porsche has somehow broken the code.
You can pull more power out of them.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. You're not seeing the batteries overheating. You're not seeing the motors overheating. So Porsche actually has done something right. I think it comes down to two things: the 800 volt system and the 2-speed auto transaxles.
Yeah, that probably helps right there, because most electric cars are just direct drive.
Right. Exactly. But removing that need for direct drive, it's not like you're freewheeling or anything like that. But
right.
Yeah, it's just a different way of putting the power down. And I think that I honestly do think that more electric vehicle companies are going to start looking into these multi-speed or at least CVT transaxles. I truly do.
Probably more of the CVT.
Because it doesn't seem like you would need it with the electric, but let's keep in mind electric motors make all their power in low RPM.
Right.
It's an asymptotic graph. If you look at it, it makes the least amount of power at highest RPM, the most amount of power at the lowest RPM. So while that's good for your torque and getting off, if you've got an electric car that tops out at 150 miles an hour, let's say, and you're doing 140 all the time, you're getting the least amount of power and you're using the most amount of electricity.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see.
Yeah, I think Porsche has cracked some kind of a code here. So even though this is, frankly, I mean, I'm sorry, I still think this is ugly. You have to admit the performance is on point.
So when I saw this, I was like, that looks like the Panamera. And yep, still ugly. If I'm gonna buy a Porsche, it's gonna be 2-door. I mean,
well, yeah, that's fair enough. Let's keep going with the EV news here. Archimoto, right out of Oregon, by the way. Fun fact: I interviewed with Archimoto.
Oh yeah,
and then they called me back for a second interview 2 days after I was hit by the drunk driver last year.
Oh yeah,
and I told them, I'm real. As much as I want to come and work for you guys, probably not going to happen right away. And here we are. It's a year later, and I still can't stare at a computer screen for more than a half an hour. But listen, Archimoto's done some really cool things. I've driven/ridden some of their other 3-wheeled offerings.
Oh yeah,
they have some really fascinating features that made their vehicles impressive, like being able to get up to freeway speed quickly, more quickly than some older cars. I mean, you want to talk about like older Civics and Accords and stuff. I would bet you money that the Archimoto 3-wheelers get there faster. They've got a system that employs anti-lock brakes even through their regenerative braking system because they use a dual motor setup.
Oh, gotcha.
It's a really fascinating thing that they've been able to do. And they just recently unveiled their latest offering. Car Scoops calls it a 3-wheeled monstrosity, but I'm curious what you're going to think about this, Greg. Let's go ahead and pull this video up. I'm going to turn the music down because we don't want to get copyright struck here.
Is that going on the stream?
Yeah.
Okay.
So look at that blunt nose. What did you think about that front fascia, man?
You know those European semi trucks?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it looks like. You know, the engine that's behind you instead of like the American ones in front of you. That's kind of what that looks like. And I'm kind of guessing that's kind of the same thing where the engine is on this one. Because I'm actually seeing right through the body. Is that a gear under there? Like
that's the motor. One of the motors.
Okay. Kind of looks like the gear for a chain or something, but I could be wrong.
These Archimotos, and I'm going to assume that this one's the same way, were previously front-wheel drive. I'm pretty sure they're still front-wheel drive in this configuration.
That would make sense to me. There's more room to put the drive right there, or even just the motors. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I see
you
that
can
right
see
there.
it there.
Yeah.
You can see the drive shaft even. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We had a couple of comments coming in. Why does Greg get all the EV stuff?
I feel like that's Jake.
You know,
but it's true.
I hate to say it, EVs are just, they're part of the future and we have to talk about them, unfortunately. The same Facebook user says that's terrible. And I'm inclined to agree with the design. This is, you know what it is, Greg? It's stubby, but effective. It's like your penis.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, nobody seems to complain. Am I right?
Hey, somebody's going to buy it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this configuration. So this is a very Can-Am Spider configuration with a person in the front, person in the back. Archimoto's previous offerings have been side-by-side configuration sitting. But they also have kind of this cage that goes over you, and there's optional like roofs and stuff. This one's all wide out in the open. So I think they're trying to give people a little bit more of the motorcycle experience.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, I think so too.
Not a lot of cargo space, but there is a small platform on the back which can either have
That
a
looks
seat.
even weirder from the top angle.
That is one strange looking fish right there. That's what it looks like. It looks like a fish.
Like one of those like angler fish, except without the angler bit.
Yeah.
Put a little carrot in front of it and let it go.
Well, clearly the knob is the one riding it, right?
Yeah.
So I don't actually know what the top speed is on this thing. Or excuse me, the 0 to 60, the top speed said to be 75 miles an hour, which, you know, that's going to do it. Let's be realistic here. This is an electric vehicle.
Yeah, I mean, what's the highest speed limit on any highway in the US? 75 is?
Yeah, I think so.
70, maybe somewhere is 80.
Yeah. And when you're talking about these boutique electric vehicles, I don't know that you're going to find one that really is going to go much faster than that, at least not in this type of configuration.
Right. I mean, it's a small vehicle.
Yeah, because you got to start thinking about things like the G Wiz, the what's that little plastic one called, the City. There's a handful of other ones, the Easy Go stuff. You know, the ones that look like snails with a truck body.
Weird.
Yeah. Those are all 30 mile an hour.
Yeah.
And by the way, they have a range of like 25 miles. It's crazy. I had a neighbor that had one and he loved everything about it, except for if he was running just from his house down to one of his rentals and was carrying any like lumber or equipment or anything in the back, he had to make it home before nightfall, because if those headlights came on,
yeah. And a lot of electric vehicles are like that.
That was when we lived in Portland.
Really brings down your range.
His little electric vehicle caught a boot one time because he was just out of juice and he had to pull it off to the side and was like, all right, I'm just going to run home, get my truck, we'll tow it back. By the time he got back to it, it had a boot on it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my God. So
he stopped driving it after a while. He was like, I'm trying to be so eco-conscious, but this is just crazy.
How do you get the boot? Just by like, come on, give me a ticket.
I don't know.
That just seems weird.
I know, but like he lived right next to me. So it's not like I didn't, see his truck in the morning when I left. When I came home, it wasn't there. And I was like, hey man, where's your electric truck?
Right. Wow.
Yeah, it was nuts. He probably got in the way of one of the parades,
Yeah.
That's how it goes. All right. On to something a little bit more hour speed. And what I mean is powered by petroleum. The new Nissan Defender, Greg. Good looking car, ugly car.
It's okay.
I'm not gonna.
So?
I'm gonna go ahead and we're looking at a front 3/4 shot here. Let me go to the side view.
Yeah, the side view kind of looks like they lopped off about 1.5 feet from the back.
This thing is fuck ugly.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna flat out say it. It looks like a boot with wheel. It looks like a roller skate. It does. It looks like a roller skate. You know what this looks like? It looks like a Scion XB with a lift kit.
Ooh.
All it's missing.
Ooh, ouch.
All it's missing is the pieces of toasted bread sticking out the top.
Yeah.
It is ugly.
Yeah. The front end doesn't look too bad, but then as it drives by you, you kind of
the rear.
Oh, geez.
And you're right. It literally is just chopped off.
Yeah. It's just like, this is an SUV.
I don't know what that does for your aerodynamics. I know that you don't traditionally think about aerodynamics with an SUV, but you really do need it with a bigger vehicle like this.
But you know, the Land Rovers themselves, the older ones, kind of have the same look to them, but it doesn't look very good on that.
No, this is just horrendous. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Here's an even better illustration of the back. No, I'm not a fan.
When you try to make the old Land Rover look like it's, you know, more civilian, more roadworthy car, with more, you know, aerodynamics, it just looks ugly.
Facebook user says looks like a modern Suzuki Samurai. Can't really lie with that.
Shorten it a couple feet.
Maybe step on it a few times.
Yeah.
All right, so here's where we're at, Greg. This ugly monstrosity is now available with a 518 horsepower V8.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden I'm looking at this going, it's got some power.
Yeah. Still ugly.
It's still ugly. However, does that change things? Like knowing that I don't have to take this with a 4-cylinder making 230 horsepower, knowing that I can get a big, throaty, rowdy sounding V8, something with some serious rumble and 3 times the horsepower as the base model. Now, all of a sudden I'm looking at this going, that might actually be kind of fun because everybody else is going to be looking at me going, wow, that thing is ugly. And then, by the way, it's brand new.
Yeah.
I have already taken it to the first performance shop I could find and had them fit a titanium exhaust on this thing because obviously I have the money.
You
know,
that might actually be not too bad. Lift kit tires.
You think so, huh?
Yeah.
Lift kit and tires.
Still be ugly.
We do have a comment coming in that says sold. I'll take it. So you know what? You got some fans out there.
Ooh.
I don't know, man. I don't know. This is going to be an interesting one. I'm really curious to see what kind of performance people get out of this. Again, I think this thing is absolutely hideous. But what it reminds me of is the G-Wagon, the Mercedes G-Wagon. When they started doing like the AMG Mercedes G-Wagon, that's when it got interesting to me. And I was like, oh, okay, so this super ugly car that really isn't, I mean, you know, you can take it off-road, and of course it's a vehicle used by the military and blah, 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 blah. I understand all that. But it's not good looking.
No.
It's like the original Willys Jeeps. They weren't good looking, but they're non-conventional. They're just they're fun because they're an oddity, right?
Yeah. But wouldn't say that they're good looking, but they do look badass. The old Willy Jeeps.
Okay, but do they look badass because you know what they did in World War II?
That's probably true. Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there, right? I think that perfectly lines up with our next entry here. This is the Czechoslovakian built Tatra 87. Do you know what the fun fact about the Tatra is?
The bug was modeled after that? Is that the fun fact?
It was. Also, this vehicle killed more Nazi generals than World War II did. Yeah. So here's your history lesson, everybody. This crazy looking vehicle was actually very aerodynamic, like way ahead of its time. And because it was so crazy looking, all of the Nazi officers wanted them and they flooded. I mean, all of the Nazi officers got themselves one of these, and they were kind of what do you call it when you steal from whoever you're invading and then you carry it around like a trophy, you know?
Yeah,
it's their spoils.
Word escapes me. Yeah, there you go.
It's their spoils of war.
Yep, yep.
So apparently this ugly looking, crazy looking thing with a 3.4 liter V8 was capable of 100 miles an hour and would do it rather quickly. Unfortunately, it also steered like a bar of soap, and it had horrendous brakes. And it at one point took out 7 Nazi officials at once. 100 miles an hour, wrapped it around a tree with 7 dudes inside, and it killed them all.
Nice. Kudos to the Czechs.
The Americans at one point actually called,
win the war.
yeah, they called this vehicle their secret weapon because it had more kills on Nazi officers than anyone else,
More
anything else.
Kills.
And I find it interesting because this is a car that, in a time when aerodynamics weren't really all that sophisticated, I guess you might say.
Yeah.
You know, we don't like it.
They did it by pretty much looks.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, famously, oh gosh, the name escapes me. The race driver for Ford who wrecked a Ford GT40, the Mark III.
Yeah. Anyways,
yeah, they didn't really know all that much about aerodynamics, and they thought that they were making that vehicle more aerodynamic. What they actually did was make it more like an airplane wing, and that's what killed him. He was doing 120 miles an hour. Yeah, crested a hill, and the thing took off 15 feet in the air.
What was it, like that GTR, the R35 GTR that came out a while ago, and they showed it on the Nürburgring. I think it was a Nürburgring. Just taken off.
Yep, got that air up underneath of it. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it was on a downhill that it kind of took off too, because it was going down and it just caught the air, and just crazy something that heavy, the air can just swoop it off the ground like that.
It's weird to think that would even be possible.
Right.
But then you also have to think, how heavy is a Boeing 787?
Very true.
You know what I mean?
Way fucking heavier.
Right, exactly. If an airplane can carry the space shuttle on its back and still take off.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the power of air getting underneath you.
Yeah, true.
Have you ever had any scary, like going over a jump when you were younger kind of stories?
Like in a car? Not really.
Really? I've got a bunch. I've got a bunch. There's a railroad crossing in Salem, and I probably shouldn't say exactly where it is. It's on Market Street. I think everybody's going to know what I'm talking about. When I was young, that used to be a spot where we would get going as fast as we could, and we would hit that railroad track. And even today, you can see spots in the concrete going both directions, by the way, that are dug out from people's chassis hitting the ground.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. We used to jump that all the time. I remember Coy catching air one time. He was in his Civic. I had taken a different line in my Miata, and he was chasing me. It was one of the back roads outside of Almsville. And he took a line that I didn't, not realizing that I didn't take that line because it crests really hard. And he ended up getting some air underneath of his Civic and got that thing turned around backwards. We're going to have him tell that story the next time he's in.
So I had a friend that got a rental car through his insurance. Something happened to his vehicle.
That's always a bad sign.
It was a Fiat 500. We were trying to, I wouldn't say jump it necessarily, but just have some fun in it. We found this pothole, large pothole. We hit the pothole and we could feel the whole side of the car just lift up and then plop back down. We jumped with a pothole.
Was the car okay?
Yeah, it self-drove.
Wow. Okay.
And then somebody in our same unit actually got it as rental like a couple weeks later, and it was still driving.
Dang.
Yeah.
Any shake in the steering wheel or anything?
Yeah, I had that before. It was kind of run down already. So I was just like, well, they won't know if we break anything.
Yeah, true. Okay, so Fiat 500s, cute or ugly?
They're not bad looking.
Yeah.
Better than the smart car, definitely.
So you're thinking about the base Fiat 500 right now. What if I say Fiat 500 Abarth?
Not a bad looking car.
Okay, so is that an example of performance enhancing the looks of a vehicle?
Well, they actually changed the look of it a little bit.
I know they did. It's more aggressive. It's lower. It's different wheels.
They didn't start off badly.
Okay, all right.
They actually started at a good platform. It wasn't ugly. It wasn't necessarily ugly. It was like, it's kind of iffy. You could sway one way. Then they just kind of made it look a little bit better. It's like a, Fox body Mustang, by themselves, they look kind of ugly. You throw a slight aero body kit on it. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
that looks a little bit better.
Sure, maybe some box flares, big black intercooler in the front.
Yeah.
Cutouts where just not the whole turbo, but just the tops of the turbos are sticking out the hood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now all of a sudden it's a good looking car.
Yeah.
Weird, right?
Yeah. Wasn't ugly to begin with, but you do those mods and you're just like, not too bad.
It's kind of like the plastic surgery, but for cars.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you got to start off with a good base if they're just ugly as sin, and then you add a little bit of Botox. They're still fucking ugly.
All right, we got a comment in here. 93 Cavalier 4-door at a railroad crossing, 50-ish miles an hour and 3 feet of air. It ripped the exhaust off of the manifold.
Oh,
wow.
my God.
Heard about that happening quite a bit. Heard about that. I've had some friends that were like, well, my exhaust is screwed. Why? What happened? Oh, took it over a jump.
Should have welded that bitch on.
Listen, things happen. Things happen, you know.
If you're going to jump, weld shit on.
All right, listen, I think it's time for us to move on to our top 5 of the day. You ready for this?
Yeah.
The Horsepower Hour presents this month's top 5 of the week. Today. And everybody in the comments, please play along. We're reviewing what MSN calls the ugliest cars ever. Some of these I agree with, some of these I don't. But either way, we are going to talk about just real quick on each of those vehicles, what we can do to improve it, make it look better, or at least make it more interesting. Right, Greg?
Yeah.
So first up is the AMC Gremlin.
Mm-hmm.
There really is no classic cool look to this, is there?
No.
But you know what makes it cool?
I got an idea.
Yeah, hit me with it.
Take the hood off.
Uh-huh.
Big block.
Sure.
Supercharger.
I like it.
Yeah.
Supercharger out the hood.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Just no hood.
Oh.
No hood.
No hood at all.
Yeah,
Rat style.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Another Gremlin, really? Okay, all right. See, this one's not even as bad looking. This is the Gremlin X. A little bit more sporty looking. That back end is so atrocious. I would do some window louvers. And honestly, it needs power and it needs a mini tub.
Tell you what you do with that. Same thing, except turbo.
Mm-hmm.
Put the radiator right there.
Oh, genius, bro. Genius. The PT Cruiser. Again, this is one of the things Dodge could have fixed by adding all-wheel drive to the PT GT.
Still ugly.
It's ugly as sin. There's no way to help it. It is one of the ugliest cars.
Best way to make that uglier? Convertible.
Yeah, but how do you make it better? I don't know. That one might just be a total loss. I'm going to mulligan that one. The Nissan Juke, while it's ugly, it does have a certain interesting factor to it, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure that can really be ranked as one of the ugliest cars ever.
No, yeah, it's an iffy. I think they're calling it ugly just because of the headlights, the little weird bubble that's going on up there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, more and more cars are kind of doing that. There's some electric vehicles doing that. So
there's aerodynamic advantages to doing it that way. Yeah. The Subaru Brat. Can you say that that's one of the ugliest vehicles ever? I mean, it's not good looking. Maybe there's just a nostalgia factor for me. The easiest way to fix this for me is to just swap in an STI drivetrain.
Go a couple generations after that, and you get the Baja.
Yeah.
That actually looks nice.
No.
Way better than that.
Okay, it looks better than that, but there's a little bit of, again, the nostalgia classic aspect happening with the Brat.
Mm-hmm.
Again, big power, all-wheel drive, I think would resolve everything wrong with that car. The AMC Pacer. The AMC Pacer was an interesting one because it has the rounded windows in the back, right?
Could you imagine trying to get a replacement for one of those these days?
No, Lord, no. which is actually
Melt
why.
plexiglass.
Well, I was going to say the first thing I would do, plexiglass with NASA ducts in them. Okay. I think this thing is just itching for a wide body, honestly. Maybe not even wide body, just some big flares. Big flares.
Big flares, all-wheel drive.
You know what I'm going to do with this one?
Rally it.
Rotary. This needs a turbo 20B under the hood. Mm-hmm.
And then rally drive it?
And then rally drive it, yep. Just imagine that monstrosity at Pat's Acres throwing down. Huh?
Yeah.
Greg got a little bit of a chub seeing that. He was like, ooh, okay. Yeah. The Corbin Sparrow. Listen, there's nothing that can really be done for this sad being. You know how you'd improve this, Greg? Shoot it, put it out of its misery.
Molotov cocktail.
Yeah. Roll it off of a cliff.
Yep.
This is one of the horrible.
It'd be the base of a bonfire.
Yeah, it's a jelly bean looking electric vehicle. I suppose what you could do is you could put the Hayabusa drivetrain in the back.
Yeah.
It's already got fender flares-ish in the front.
But then that would be kind of disappointing to people because they hear a nice engine and then that thing flies by. And then you wouldn't think, oh, it's got a high boot. No, you'd think there's something wrong with that.
Okay, but you're still laughing, right?
At it, not with it. It's a meme car, okay?
Okay, all right. It's a meme car. I guess that's fair enough, but all I'm saying is I would go through a lot of rear tires in this because basically everywhere I went, when I saw people laughing at me, I would just have to start doing fat burnouts.
So
just start whipping cookies right in the middle of the road.
What kind of race would you put that in?
The death race. The Pontiac Aztec, bro. So we already actually know what we can do with this.
Meth lab.
Fat wide tires, lowered box flares. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
We've already seen renderings of these that really don't look bad. People have done some crazy stuff with the Pontiac Aztecs, and there are some things you can do that would make me want to drive that.
What were those things?
One, R35 GTR drivetrain.
Kind of weird.
No?
Kind of weird in there.
What? Weird how?
The fact that you want to put GTR drivetrain in that.
Greg, we're trying to talk about how to make this better.
I know.
Would that not make it better?
Maybe. You know what would make it better?
Huh.
See those headlights? That already looks like a spot for a turbo.
Okay.
But not with a GTR drivetrain. You can put that in other cars. Save those for other cars, not that.
All right.
That's my issue with that. Save that shit for other cars.
So what's going in yours?
I don't know. You know what? Tell you what I'll put in there.
Yeah.
Audio system.
Oh.
Yeah.
You'd make this thing bump, huh?
Yes. Looks like it could be a pretty good applicant for bumping.
Throw it on some 19s, 20s.
13s.
All right, now you're just taking the piss. We're moving on. The Alfa Romeo SZ. I don't actually think this looks all that bad. It's got kind of that 80s futuristic. It looks like one of the cars from the movie Total Recall.
Looks like a shark. Look at the back fin.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this is a side angle shot, so it's a spoiler, but for Alfa Romeo, it's ugly.
Well, you know what?
If you're to compare it to all the other Alphas, that's ugly.
Okay, that's a fair point. That is a fair point because Alfa is known for making some of the most beautiful and least reliable vehicles ever.
Yeah.
So if it's ugly and unreliable, no go.
Down the drain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Were these front wheel drive or rear wheel drive? It looks rear wheel, doesn't it?
It looks like that big hood.
Yeah. Well, here's what we need. So I'm pretty sure these already had a dual overhead cam V6 in them.
Probably.
So I'm going to pop that out. I'm going to put a Honda J32 in it. Yeah.
What kind of race? Street?
Yeah. Street race. I would probably leave most everything else alone. Obviously lower it. I kind of dig the wheels, to be honest. I don't think this is that ugly of a car.
It's not that ugly. But if you're to look, if Alfa was the only car manufacturer, yeah, it's ugly.
Yeah. But I would want to make it more reliable. Or you can go the opposite. Speaking of rotaries, match an unreliable car with an unreliable motor.
Are you gonna get one that's blown?
All the condensation I can find.
That's oil.
The Oldsmobile Aurora. You said one of the funniest things earlier. What did you say about this?
Oh, it's like the Toyota Camry, but with Down syndrome. You cover up the front hood, the front clip of it, and you're like, oh, okay, that kind of looks like a Camry. Then you remove your hand, and you're like, whoa, who did that? An extra chromosome.
And I told you that I found Down syndrome very offensive. It's actually fetal alcohol syndrome.
Yeah.
This thing.
Blame the parents on that one.
It is ugly, but weirdly, these were not exactly slow for their time. They had a 4-liter V8 derived from the North Star, which, listen, not great, but the North Star did make some power. You know that, right? So, I mean, it's already got a 4-liter V8. Let's think for a second. If an actual good company that made high performance stuff had made that motor, 4-liter V8, right? Let's say it's making 400 horsepower. Okay. Not out of the realm of question. Yes.
Yeah. No.
Or maybe we give it the GM treatment and we just throw a fat like an M90 supercharger on it for no reason.
Yeah.
It is front wheel drive.
Yeah.
But listen, let's leave it front wheel drive because that's kind of the way things go here. The back is a little too much like a Ford Taurus, the later Ford Taurus, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So obviously this thing needs some 18-inch wheels. I probably wouldn't even flare the body. It's not worth it.
No.
I mean, the lines just don't flow with or without a wide on it.
Leave it.
Yep. Just add horsepower and go.
Yep.
If we can get a sub 5-second 0 to 60 out of this, or the ability to do the world's fattest burnouts from the ugliest car, I'm just saying.
Ugliest burnout.
Mini Cooper convertible. Is this thing even redeemable?
No.
You got to give me something, Greg.
It's just hard to look at.
It's so ugly.
What
was Mini thinking releasing this vehicle?
They probably weren't. Somebody at the factory or the dealership's like, hey, let's pay somebody to put a convertible on this. And then they got it back from the conversion company and they're like, you sure about this? You sure about this, Bob? You really want to do this? Yeah, pull the plug. Let's do it.
Are you sure, Heinrich?
Yeah.
Where did you come up with this design? Smoking some of that old school Nazi rock.
Yeah.
They call this thing the Blitzkrieg, you heard?
Yeah. What did the Germans give their soldiers to pump them up?
Methamphetamines.
Yeah.
That was the whole basis of the Blitzkrieg because it was a 3-day assault.
Yeah.
And so their soldiers would stay awake and not eat and presumably not shit for 3 days.
Yeah. Meth bad.
Effective, but not sustainable.
Yeah. Who won the war? Not Germany.
Bro, the Nissan Cube. And look, there are certain things about the Nissan Cube that work. You know, it has a ton of space inside. It had lots of different options. I don't even hate the wheels, to be honest. This, like, cut off window right here with this massive pillar. Have you ever driven one of these?
No, I have not.
They have so many blind spots. It is unreal.
Really?
The B pillar,
big ass window?
well, it doesn't matter. On this side, on this side, it has a huge blind spot. So look at the windows that it has, but remember that while the steering wheel in Japan is on this side, it's on the other side in America.
Yeah.
These things were atrocious. Huge blind spots. If you look at these A-pillars, huge blind spots.
Yeah, those are pretty big.
So, I mean, one way to fix this is simply by putting a camera system in, maybe like a lane detection. I'm saying that not because it's performance minded or
Tesla
looks minded.
drivetrain. Get it out and put Tesla parts in it.
Call it the Cube Ludicrous.
Yeah.
The Ludicrube.
Yes, there you go.
Ludicube. We'll work on it.
Ludicrous. There you go.
I've heard it both ways. What do we got coming in? I say drop it on its ass and put the engine in the firewall and boost the shit out of it and uphill race that shit. Okay.
Which one was that one?
I'll assume it's the Mini Cooper, but we're going to apply it to the Cube because why not?
Yeah.
But I like that. A Tesla drivetrain in this, that would be amazing.
That'd be tits. And
it might actually work because it's just a huge box van.
Plenty of room.
In 3/4 scale, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Lada, we don't have those here, so we're not going to review it. Wow. The Aston Martin Lagonda. Holy smokes.
And I say again, just like the which one did we just have earlier? The Alpha?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Same thing with this one.
No, not the same thing.
No. I'm saying
the Alpha had some redeemable qualities.
I'm saying that this is the ugliest of Aston Martin.
All right, fair enough. But on a scale of ugly vehicles, this isn't like the ugliest vehicle in Aston Martin. This is the ugliest vehicle to come out of Britain in 1978.
Yeah.
And that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
You know what? This car looks like it embodies the mouth problems of the British, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's got a messed up grill.
They're too used to not having dentists, so they design their cars out of them.
Yeah, the yellow and the orange, plus with the 2 buck teeth in the front, you know. Yeah. This was just a mistake. I'm sorry. This car, this is proof that even God's forgiveness has its limits.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't even know. I mean, it had power from the factory, so that is one of the redeeming qualities for this, but not enough power. Honestly, for this to start getting interesting for me, it's going to have 700-800 horse.
And I'm guessing those are rear-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Throw some power at it.
Yeah. At what power level will you start getting interested in that car?
Probably pretty close to that.
Yeah.
Maybe drag race it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we can click off like a high 11-second quarter mile, that would make me stop and go, that's an interesting car.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I guess my whole thing is, like, if I ever become a famous YouTuber, and I have bazillions of dollars to just throw at whatever, but I got to kind of keep it like car themed.
Are you going to get every single car off that and do something with it? All the other cars, and let's modify this one for this video.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and I'm going to find people who modified these vehicles and then buy an extreme discount from them. Yeah.
Okay.
You can't, because you can't put you can't put your own money into it. You know, that's throwing good money at bad. But if I pay pennies on the dollar for one of these because they did something real janky and now the electrics don't work and they're like, just take this piece of shit off my hands because I can't deal with it anymore. Right. Now we have a project. Now we get to do it our way, but I'm not spending, like, these probably still fetch $25,000 to the right collector. I want to find someone that was 3/4 of the way done with a 1984 302 swap.
Ooh.
Yeah. And just swoop in, take it off their hands.
Yeah.
And then we go big block.
Yeah.
The Ford Pinto, this is an easy one. You want to take it?
It's not a horribly ugly car, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, for that time, it might have been a little ugly. Mm-hmm. I mean, it still kind of is, but it's not horrible. Were those rear-wheel drive still?
Yes.
What they come
with the 2.3
2.3 turbo?
Yeah, easy.
Turbo,
all day
turbo
long.
fat tires.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The Cosworth double overhead cam head on it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Turbo
yeah.
fat tires.
Well, that's not what they came with. I'm just saying that's
Yeah. Turbo fat car.
Yep.
Fat tires.
Yep. If you were doing a modern
Tub 'em.
resto mod, I wouldn't put anything in this besides a Coyote.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Maybe even the 5.2 liter Voodoo.
With a big ass cam.
Oh yeah. With all four of them.
Yes.
The Jeep Gladiator, man. Does this really deserve to be on the list?
I've always find them a little ugly. Not terrible, but it's just odd looking. Probably because it kind of looks. Yeah, it's just ugly.
You're trying to defend it, and you're like,
Yeah,
nah, it's ugly.
Yeah. It's kind of like a Wrangler, and they're like, hey, let's take a Wrangler and put a truck bed on it.
All right,
Kind of
fair
looks
enough.
like a Ford truck bed, but whatever.
The Ford F-15000.
The FERP.
Send me them feet pics.
Oh, no.
No, Ford and Jeep feet.
Oh, feep. I thought you
Yeah.
said feet.
No. I'm into
Feep.
feeps.
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 The Crossley. We're not gonna do that one. The Subaru 360. I'm gonna kind of disagree with this one. I don't think it's ugly. I think it's just kind of tiny and cute. I'll tell you exactly how to improve one of these. You want to know how? Subaru drivetrain in the back.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agree.
Citroen, we're not doing that one. Nissan S Cargo. And those on audio, a Nissan, it's called an S dash Cargo, but it also looks like a snail. So you pronounce it escargot. And this one even has wood print vinyl. That's real bad. That's real bad, son.
From here, it almost looks like somebody took some like red duct tape and just tried to fix the bumper.
And those bug-eyed headlights. All right. Wow.
I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of on the top 5 of ugliest cars.
Yeah, that's real bad. It is a Nissan though. Can I employ the GTR drivetrain yet?
No.
What about a Pulsar GTR drivetrain?
Okay.
All right. So an SR20 DET with an all-wheel drive drivetrain in this.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. Bro, how badass would that be? Just thinking about it. Oh my goodness.
Another meme car.
Oh, I would
tell you what, you just pull up to a meet with a huge, just super modded up, big turbos,
Yeah.
all that stuff on an SR20. People looking like, the fuck is that?
Ooh, get the VE head on it so you're revving to like 9,000 RPM.
Yes.
Ooh. Oh, I like where that's going. That would make the S car go.
And then drift it.
Oh man, the Volkswagen thing. Nah, I mean, yeah, it's ugly, but it's utilitarian.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Willys Jeep,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm skipping that one. Sorry. The Cadillac Cimarron.
That doesn't look ugly. That looks like some random consumer car.
No, it's just I think it's a K car.
It ain't pretty. It ain't ugly. It ain't cute.
It looks like a Ford LTD,
Yeah.
Chevy Caprice
Yeah, why is that
from the 80s, you know.
Yeah. Why is that on the list?
Nah, it shouldn't be. It's a nothing burger. The
That should be on the list.
Triumph TR7. Yeah. Wow. You know what these cars have going for them?
What?
They like to burst into flames.
So my question is what fucked an MR2 to look like that? Sorry, not an MR2, a Fiero.
Well, obviously it was that Oldsmobile Aurora.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Wow.
rammed it.
Well, but listen, there's a couple of things we can do here.
It's got to be mid-engine.
Well, yeah, when it's a mid-engine vehicle, and when it comes to mid-engine, box flares. Did I mention box flares?
No. Can you mention that again?
Greg, box flares. Okay.
Yes.
And not small ones, not tiny ones.
Yeah.
I'm talking, I want fat meats underneath this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I want it rolling on some 15 by 10 wheels. Okay.
Big old squares.
Power plant. I'm going to say K20.
Okay.
I'm going to say a Honda K20.
Mm-hmm.
One of the newer ones is turbocharged.
Yep.
One of those crate takeouts.
Okay.
And it needs all the boost. All the boost.
All of it.
Mm-hmm. I want to see 8,500 RPM on the tachometer. I want 450, 500 horsepower. I want a 6-speed manual transmission, and I want it to start every single time.
Ooh.
It's got to be the K series. We could do a K24, get a little bit of that bottom end torque, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Let's do it.
Oh, the Chevy Lumina. Holy smokes. This thing looks like the space. This thing looks like if the space shuttle.
Ooh, I got an idea for that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You know what that would look really good as? USPS delivery. Like, yeah, Chevy just got to make that for the USPS delivery.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Put a little sticker on there. That sticker looks perfect on there.
Wow. I don't even know. This is like if the space shuttle grudge fucked an Oldsmobile Aurora. And then their baby was fat.
Oh, I was gonna say deformed, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What's the difference? I'm fat. Calm down.
Thyroid condition.
Oh man, this thing is so bad. I don't even know where to start. I hate to say it, but you might have to make this one mid-engine.
You know what? Let's make it dual engine. SRT 4 engine in the front and the rear.
Interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
See, I was going to go Chevy LT4.
Ooh. Keeping it in the family.
Yeah. Little LS swap.
That's why
action.
it's deformed.
Oh, yeah. Wow. No, you know what? I take that back. A couple of the iron block 3.8 supercharged motors that Oldsmobile made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 2 of those in this. Hell, even just 1 in the front. Yeah, that would turn heads. That would make me more interested in this. It has to be available with the 5-speed.
Okay.
No manual, then no mas.
And then you would deliver mail in it.
Quickly.
Yes.
You'd get your mail quickly. I would be done with my route very, very quickly. Let's see here. We got a comment coming through. My mom used to have a Chevy Lumina. God, it was the most ugliest car ever.
Did it look okay from the inside, or was it also ugly inside?
He's asking about your mom.
That's fair. Answer for both.
Oh, here we go. So I'm skipping some of these European ones, but we're going to go ahead and stop on this
the
one.
The platypus.
The Fiat Multipla. Wow. I'm speechless. This thing is so ugly.
Have you seen the new one?
No, I haven't.
Not the new one, but the generation after that.
No.
It looks like a normal van. Thank God.
They didn't try to go with this ridiculousness?
No, it just looks like a normal minivan.
This looks like it has some room under the hood for something. I mean, truly it does. I'm thinking of VR6.
Okay.
I'm thinking if this Fiat had a VR6, I'm not going to change the lines of the body. They're too ugly to really do anything with. It's a 4-door. It's too weird. What I would do is I would put no wing spoiler on the back, but 1 wing spoiler on the hood. And I would make it VR6, turbo VR6 powered.
I'm having a hard time to envision anything that's worth anything in that.
Well, just throw something out. Come on, go wild.
Tell you what I would do.
Yeah.
Put some food trays on the back of that.
No, Greg, you're misunderstanding the point, my friend. What would it take for
with the
you?
VR6?
All right. What would it take for you to look at this car and go, interesting? If it was cheap enough, I'd actually buy one.
The front half chopped off.
No, we're gonna sit here. We're gonna do this right.
I'm gonna keep saying chop it, chop top. That thing is just at a loss.
It's so ugly that you just couldn't do anything with it, huh?
No.
Okay. All right.
That's one of those cars where it doesn't matter if you put a paper bag over its head, it's still ugly.
Yes, but there is this asymptotic relationship, like we talked about, where it's so ugly, but once you reach a certain horsepower level, it becomes interesting.
Okay. So here's what I would do.
Okay.
I would build a Subaru engine, slap it in there that had 1,000 horsepower, just to say I did it.
Okay. All right.
And then the engine would blow up.
If it came from the factory with a 500 horsepower Subaru H6.
Are you going to continue that?
No, it's always.
What if it did?
It's all-wheel drive. It's 500 horsepower. It's got the STI running gear. You're going to look at that and you're going to go, why would someone put STI running gear from the factory into this super ugly car? They're half the price of an STI because they're so ugly and nobody wants them except for a donor.
But then at that point, you're not really going along with the game.
All right. So this one's just a lost car.
Yeah, it's just lost.
All right. Fair enough. The AMC Matador.
Put it in El Dorado. Except it's underneath El Dorado, not even gold.
This one seems like you'd be able to work it out. I mean, the AMC Matador, yeah, it's big, it's fat, it's weird looking. But part of that is just because of these teeny tiny tires, don't you think?
Yeah.
So if you filled these wheel wells out with some real wide, you know what? I'm going to go wide and steelies on this one.
I mean, the car doesn't. Who said this car's ugly? Is it because of the headlights? I don't understand why this is an ugly car.
Well, it's ugly because some stay-at-home journalist that knows nothing about cars said it was ugly.
That's fair. Is there... I don't understand why that's ugly.
For the engine, I'm seeing a Cadillac 502.
Okay. What if you were to slap like a V10 or V12 under there?
That would be fine, but what's a reliable V10 or V12? Are you thinking like a Dodge?
I'll go Ferrari V12.
Or a Viper V10?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd probably be better. That would probably sound more appropriate for that.
Yeah, I think the only things you'd really need is just a huge power plant and some fat meats on that one. The Scout Scarab. Wow. So this is a classic. I think these were built in the 40s. I'm going to mulligan this one. I don't think it's that ugly. I think it's an oddity.
Yeah, they're trying to make it kind of space futuristic. Yeah.
This is the very last one on our list, the AMC Marlin.
Not ugly, just a little odd looking.
It's odd looking. It is odd looking. It's got a fastback and it's got wings, like Cadillac wings.
Yeah, it's like a Cadillac with the Mustang body.
Yeah.
Because it's got the fastback look. But then they're like, hey, let's make it a little less aerodynamic.
I'm going to do this just to piss you off, and because it's our last vehicle. This needs a turbo LS.
I'm fine with that.
No problem with that?
Nope.
Dumped?
Yeah.
Lowered?
Yeah, absolutely. 20s.
Big fat 20s on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Resto mod.
Yeah, full resto mod.
Yep.
I like that. And a flame kit out the back.
Let's see here. Yeah, definitely do that. Sequential gearbox. Circuit race.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I like it. Listen, that's all we got for our top 5 of the week. That was a long top 5. Wow.
Top 20?
No, it was
the bottom 20.
it's definitely the top 5. Okay. That's what we do here is the top 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Which of those cars, just if you could have anyone right now, which one of those would you just take right now?
The Alpha wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd probably take the Alpha.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the Alpha too.
Mm-hmm.
I might even take a Gladiator just because, I don't know, I think those have promise.
Yeah, I mean, they're Jeep.
Yeah, they're Jeep.
Yeah.
And I think that there's going to be some good things happening for them. There's not good things happening for us, though. You know what I'm talking about? Because it is time for Smokin Deal or Smokin a Doob. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Smokin Deal or Smokin a Doobie. Get your bleach ready, kids, because this one is a doozy. What do we got here, Greg? It says 1984. I don't think that's right. I think it's a 1992 or 3. Mercury Capri convertible.
It could be 84.
No, it's not an 84. They didn't make the Mercury. They started the Mercury Capris in 89 or 90. I had Mercury Capri running gear in my Turbo Festiva 1,000 years ago. I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
These front wheel drive, this is the front wheel drive Mercury Capri. I'm not talking about the older, like the Fox body based Mercury Capris. That's not what this is.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
This is the Mazda based. It's actually based on the Mazda 323.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's got the turbo 1.6 liter Mazda motor in it.
Mm-hmm.
Still uses that goofy 4x114 bolt pattern. They didn't stop using that until 94 or something. Yeah. First photo, we see that it's got a very strange looking hood. We're seeing it from the back, you guys. A massive wing. This thing is just, it's ridiculous looking already.
It kind of looks like it has chops.
Yeah, it does. You move around to the inside photos, you see that it's an automatic. That's unfortunate.
Yep.
It loses points right there.
But
am I seeing a roll cage?
I'm not seeing it.
This bar right here and this bar right here. Am I dreaming?
Maybe.
Let's keep moving around. Oh, wow. What is going on here? Okay, so at this point, I think we need to read the description. The seller's description is one of a kind, hand built by Frank Merck. The old guy passed away and I purchased property and all the contents. I have several other cars that I will be posting and a dump truck. I have lots of flathead V8 engines, complete motors. So if you're interested, send me a text or a message. Thank you. If anybody is interested in this vehicle, I urge you, I beg you to seek some psychological help. This has some kind of a front end conversion. It's got the bubble fenders of like a 34 Ford pickup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's got this protruded, almost Studebaker looking front grille. I'm looking at this hood, Greg. Is that hood grafted on? Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Look at the supports there. Look at that hood. What a ridiculous monstrosity. Oh, and you know what? I'm an asshole. I take it all back. This is not, I thought this was one of the front wheel drive ones. I was wrong. You were right. It is one of the rear wheel drive Mercury Capris.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
This is a Fox body.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Massive ass.
So, you know what I was thinking?
Huh?
Just imagining inheriting that, and you're like, "The fuck am I gonna do with this?"
I mean, if it was either one of us that was inheriting it, we would know exactly what to do with it. One, get it running again.
Well, yeah.
And two, take it straight down to wherever the car meets are. And just, I would throw on the shortest pair of shorts I could find.
Oh God, yes.
Like a hot pink shirt. Find me one of those hats where I can, like, it's a thin bill, you know, where I can roll it up the opposite direction.
Oh yeah.
And then some Pit Viper sunglasses.
Yes. And then you get your lawn chair and just sit next to it.
Yes. When people ask me what's done to it, I just make it up as I go. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's got a V10 in it.
Yeah. With the hood open.
Yeah, it's a 9.6 liter V10.
Yeah.
You can see, let's count the spark plug wires.
With 2 superchargers.
1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 8 more on the other side. So I mean, that's 12. So technically it's 12 cylinder, but I just had it chopped down to 8 because you know, that's more economical.
Yeah.
Makes the same horsepower, which is 1200 horsepower.
Yeah.
Until I use the nitrous, which bumps it up another 1,000.
1,000 shot, whole bottle at the same time.
I dumped 3 bottles at once. Instead of going, psh, they just go.
Need an exhaust pipe for that.
What was that nitrous sound you were making in the microphone earlier?
What nitrous sound? Just, oh yeah. That's what it sounded like after that.
Let's keep going through these photos here, man. Wow. I don't even know what to say about this. What is going on with the tail lights here? Those don't look like Mercury Capri tail lights to me.
Go back to the other shot, the very first one. Yeah. Click through all of them.
There you go.
They did something to that.
Yeah, it's not stock, right?
No, they did a little something weird to that.
I don't even know where to begin with. It's so ugly. Holy shit. I'm seeing
But you know there are collectors for those kind of cars.
Oh, ugh. I don't know what kind of collector is going to be looking for this. Look at this, Greg. Am I seeing this correctly? Is there an indicator light inside of the front grille here?
I don't know what that is.
It looks like an orange indicator light, and I don't see any indicator lights. Well, I guess there's one here on the fender, but none on the front.
How do you see the one on the fender?
Right here.
Yeah, I see it, but how does everyone else see it?
Well, that's why I'm thinking maybe it's this one right here. Either that or this car was on fire when the photo was taken. It does have side pipes. I'll throw that in there. Oh yeah, see, it's got the marker lights inside of the grill here. Greg, I'm ready to throw bleach in my face. I don't even know what to do. You guys on audio, you have to come and check this car out. It is just such a monstrosity. Again, in the description, there are links to everything that we've discussed. You got to check it out because this is ridiculous. I don't even know what to say about this. There's no information about the engine. There's no information about the drivetrain. Here's a photo of the engine. What can we glean off of this? You're a Ford guy. Help me out here. Is that just a 302?
Yeah, that's just a 302.
It's got Ford Motorsports valve covers on it.
Some high-rise intake.
Yeah, but really nothing else. I mean, this is straight up from Jeg's catalog intake. Yeah, wow. I mean, it doesn't even look like there's been anything done to the motor.
Yeah, I don't think so either, other than the high-rise intake, and maybe they put a cam in there. It's hard to tell.
Well, yeah, we'd have no way of knowing that.
Yeah.
Does it look to you
hope
like
they put a cam in there with that high-rise?
Did they double up on the... no, it's got some kind of a thick radiator shroud here, I guess.
I think they just moved the radiator forward.
Yeah, and then the fan is stuck into this faux fascia on the front of the vehicle.
Yeah.
Dude, look at the rubber gasket material around these fenders. Wow. The more I look at this, the worse it gets. Truly. All right, Greg. I've seen enough, which is to say that I've seen too much. And it is an automatic. We already said that. It's listed for $10,000. Realistically, And don't throw out some bullshit number like, oh, I wouldn't pay any money for it.
$12.
No, seriously, what would, if you saw this on Marketplace and then you were looking at it and you were like, man, this is goofy looking. What's the price? At what price would you kind of stop and go,
Maybe 4? Maybe 4,000?
4,000? You pay $4,000 for this?
It's not the quality doesn't look horrible. I mean, like you said earlier, go to a car meet. I would totally do that.
Yeah,
just sit there and sit up on a lawn chair and just wait for people to ask questions.
Would you at any point consider throwing your built motor into that?
My 408 Windsor into there?
Yes.
If I had another one. If I didn't know what I was going to throw the second one into, maybe.
Even though this is a Ford, would it be maybe like an LS swap candidate because of how molested it is?
Yeah, molested all the way. Cummins.
Oh, yeah. So 4K, that would be where you would kind of look at this and go, I could see myself in it.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
I'm at 2,000. I'm at 2,000, and I'm being generous. If I drove this home and my wife said, how much do you pay for that? And I said $2,000, she would castrate me.
Yeah, naturally.
I think her Smokin Deal Doob on this would probably be $500. Like if I could truly gamble this car, I think she'd be more understanding.
I'm just confused about the car.
No, what's up?
It's just so weird. Like I don't understand the want to do that to a car. Okay, I kind of withdraw a little bit on the quality. Look at that. Look at the door. What did they do to that door? It's like they put something on there, like glue, like just stuck it on there, but then they're like, hey, no. Between the fender flare and this little door molding, we're just gonna leave nothing there.
They had to move it back because
so they could open the door.
Yeah, it would have interfered other way.
At least kind of do something so you don't see the stripe continuing.
Yeah, if they had cut out the backside of this first flare so that this second flare had something to recede into when you open the door, it would have been fine.
That would have been a little bit better.
So do you want to revise your 4,000 bid?
325. 3,250.
3,250. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, listen, obviously we don't know anything about this car. If you guys out there know something about the car that we don't, please feel free to reach out to us. Let us know in the comments. What would you pay for that car? Would you pay for that car? Would you be seen dead in it? Listen, of course you'd be seen dead in it. Like, it's ridiculous looking, but if you got it cheap enough and you made it powerful enough, anything is possible. And I think that's really the theme of the episode today, huh?
Yeah.
Well, Greg,
all the horsepower.
Well, first of all, Smokin Deal or Smokin Adobe.
Big one.
That's the end of that segment. Also, it is the end of our program. Greg, I want to thank you for joining, my friend. Appreciate you. Cheers. Coy, of course, will be back next week, so don't worry about it, everybody. He's still here, and we're going to have a great time talking to him. Going to talk all about the Painted Hills. I got a classic burn on a buddy of mine. He was trying to throw something in my face where he was like, oh, I only had to put it in 4-wheel drive like twice on the whole drive. I made Coy proud. I came back on him because when you can't go higher, you go lower.
Yeah. Right.
And so I just looked at him and said, yeah, I don't know. I just put it in advanced track mode and I hit the gas once in a while and we crawled right up the hill. And he was like, haha, fuck you. So be looking forward to hearing all about that next week. Also check out the merch at Teespring store. We do appreciate that. Again, March's shirt is on sale right now. Going to tell you guys a secret. You can get $5 off of that order if you use the promo code SOYBOY.
Ooh.
So use that. Get yourself a shirt for cheap, my friend. Well, that's it. Ugly cars, You can't make them better looking, but you can at least make them interesting with a little bit of power, right?
Absolutely.
Greg, one more time, thanks so much. You can find him on Instagram, bald_mayhem. Please do go and follow Greg. He's good times, and he posts a lot of really fun stuff. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you for telling a friend, and we will see you next time.